Welcome to another edition of prosoft-technology's video training. During this training session, we'll cover the basic configuration steps for setting up the RLX2 802.11 high-speed radios. Specifically, I'll be using the RLX2 IHNF radios. This is our high-speed 802.11n radio that was designed for fast roaming. I'll show you how to properly configure a wireless system that will consist of one master radio or access point and a remote radio that will wirelessly connect to that master radio. Okay, let's begin. With both radios powered up and connected to the local network, let's launch the RadioLink's Industrial Hotspot browser, or IH browser. When IH browser opens, it will send a broadcast message on the local network. All RLX2 radios that hear this broadcast will respond. When the IH browser gets that response, it'll then populate the list with all the reported radios. My two radios are listed here. By default, each RLX2 radio is shipped with DHCP on. And since my radios are on a network with a DHCP server, you'll see that each radio has already obtained an IP address. So at this point, I can simply double-click on the radio to launch the browser. But I'm not going to do that because I want to show you how to specify an IP address. So from here, you can right-click on your desired radio, choose Assign IP. Now you can choose one of the IPs that it presents to you here, or you can specify your own IP. Just be sure that the IP is unused on your network. Now once your radio has an IP address, you should be all set to enter the web page for configuration. Okay, so let's double-click on the radio. It'll open up our browser. We'll go ahead and log in. The default password is password. And from here, I'm going to configure the repeater or the remote radio first. So I see that it already has repeater selected. Now all I need to do is I need to change the SSID of the network name that I'm connecting to. So I'm going to go ahead and create a name. We'll just call this RLX2 training. And now I need to add a passphrase. Now this passphrase needs to match both radios or all the radios that are on the RLX2 training network. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and change this to static. And that's it. That's all I need to do for this configuration. There's some other advanced features I can get into, but that's for a different video or a different training seminar. Now I'll click Apply, and I'm going to go ahead and close this window because the settings have already been downloaded. Now what I'll do, I'll disconnect the cable before I configure my master radio because I don't want both the master and the remote radio connected wirelessly and on the LAN because then bad things can happen. So what I'll do, I'll remove the Ethernet cable from the remote radio or the repeater radio. And now you'll notice that once I hit the refresh button, it's no longer on the screen. So it actually removed it from the list. So now I'll go into the master radio, again, enter the password, and now I'll change the network name. Well, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to change the name of the radio to the function of the radio. And we'll give it the same SSID. We'll change this to master. And here you can see all the different channels that we have available. I'm going to go ahead and stay on the default. And now the passphrase. Again, same passphrase you used for the previous radio. And again, I'm going to change this to static so it uses the same IP address. And we'll click Apply Changes. And once that's done, we're all set. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this window. And now I'll keep hitting the refresh button, and you'll notice that once the master radio has its configuration, the repeater radio or the remote radio will automatically link up to the master radio. And once it does, you'll see it listed here in the IH browser. And there you go. So now you see that the master radio is linked up with the remote radio, while the remote radio has no Ethernet connection or LAN connection. And that about does it for this training session. If you have any questions about our wireless products or any other products, please feel free to give us a call and we'll be glad to help you out. Until next time, happy training. Bye.